All right, how is everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing real good today's Wednesday, the 17th of February, 6:30. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Colton Brown. I will be your Marshal today. This is the Marshal's Take. Now today is going to be a little themed. We're going to have a bit of a theme going on around here. It will be slightly I say slightly aimed to the topic of the day, and it's going to be real interesting. So, from what is rumored is, excuse me, just had some supper, so excuse me. Let me go over to my source over here. So, the theme of today is none other than the name Andretti. The name is synonymous around the world, whether you only know him from Formula One, IndyCar, or from sports car racing. The name is synonymous with racing around the world. Which, let's just be honest, the name Andretti, it spells success, whether you're in any sort of sports. So, it is rumored that Andretti Autosport, which is run by Michael Andretti, Marco's son, he is considering doing the LMDH program in IMSA in 23. Now, or here it comes from racer.com. It says that Michael Andretti, he wants to make a turn to the top sports car racing program, and obviously he's going to be doing it in the IMSA class, the new LMDH that will take effect 2023. So, now if you didn't already know already, which I found this out earlier today, Andretti is still in sports car, but it's sort of a more quiet role. He is in the LMP3 and he does the number 18, I believe is Gallant sponsored LMP3. I believe he just does the sprint car, the sprint races, so he's not going to be doing the endurances with like the big boys up there, like the DPIs, GT3s, GTLMs and stuff. So apparently he is in talk with a few manufacturers that are coming into that are supposedly coming into the DPI, the LMDH program. Now we already know that Acura is going to be in there. Now we kind of will assume that Cadillac is going to be going in there, now that we know that the Mazda team is going to be canceling their top program and focusing more on their grassroots, such as their Mazda Cup, MX-5 Cup series. So on here it says that on the article, it says with Acura, Audi, and Porsche committed so far, and the likes of, which this is new to, the likes of BMW, Ford, General Motors, which is Cadillac, and other major automotive brands taking serious looks at LMDH. A shortage of available champion caliber teams could lead some brands to search the IndyCar program, blah 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 blah. So let's think about this real quick. So he's rumored to be coming back. The program is, at least, which leads me to think of two brands that he could go with if they strike a deal. Now the most obvious one is that he's going to go with the Acuras, since he has a Honda contract with their IndyCar program. The next the next brand that comes to mind is the BMW. Now, if you are not familiar with the Formula E series, they are basically your Formula Ones with your electric engines or electric motors with street tires. They run the BMW's, I guess, sponsored chassis with that. So that could be another brand that Andretti could go with in this format. Which it's kind of curious to me, because we learned this year that BMW is not doing the full season for IMSA. They pulled out of the WEC last year, I believe. Well, their final season was last year because they pulled out this year, I believe. With that, it kind of like makes you curious about, what is BMW up to? Now, I know they've just done, they've released their M4 GTS or GTR, which is basically just a GT3 spec M4. That could be something, because I think they're only going to be they're just doing GTs. I believe they've only done, I got it right here beside me. Yeah, they've only done 2 programs. The V12 LMR, I believe the 99, I got it right here. Yeah, the 99 24 hours Le Mans overall winner, and the GTP, hold on, it's right here. I believe it was in either 86 or 87 with their GTP with Davy Jones. I believe it was either 86 or 87. That could be wrong. Somebody fact check that for me, please. So now, with the those 2 brands kind of coming to mind, you kind of have to wonder which one are they going to go for, because Andretti Autosport still hasn't come out of the Formula E, but BMW has. They're pulling out this year, which again makes me wonder, who are they going to be going with if they're leaving as well? At least that's rumored that they will be leaving this year. It's just like Audi is. Now, going back to the Honda side of things, that's probably the more realistic, like, sort of vision that people see. Especially here in the States, you can't really think without Honda close by. You can't think about those two. You can't separate them. So initially, your first thought is, they're just going to go for an Acura since they have a very, very faithful Honda contract. So that's going to be sort of their thing. And also, they ran with an Acura before, back in sort of the mid 2000s with their if anybody remembers the days of ALMS with the XM, Sirius XM, black and yellow LMP2 that they had running with doing battle with the Penske Porsche RS. Yeah, that was an Acura as well. So it kind of ties in together that they would return to being an Acura sponsored LMDH car. As far as sponsors, stick to probably AutoNation or I mean, let's see what I just looked them up a moment ago. Give me just a tick. Ready? No, not the cart. Not. Here we go. Autosport. So, with their sponsors, what immediately comes to mind, I mean, they have the DHL with Ryan Hunter-Reay. That yellow and red car. That would be a really cool going down a back straight of a track, or maybe it could be the Napa, blue and yellow, another blue and yellow car going down going on the track. I think I'd prefer the Napa one. I'm kind of torn between the DHL or the Napa. Auto Nation is good. We do need more purple cars around here, purple race cars. But as far as purple cars go, I think that number 48 from the Cadillac DP, I think that got it just right. Oh, and the PR1 Matheson Motorsport, they got that right with that Wins livery. That's just beautiful. But as far as the Andretti, I think either the DHL or the Napa, that would be probably my two favorite, or rather the two brands that would be the more major sponsor, the top sponsor would be. What would you guys like to see? Would you guys rather see the DHL, that red, yellow and red car, or would you rather see the Napa, the blue and yellow Napa LMDH car? Which one would you rather see? So, let me get things sort of situated real quick. So now that these rumors are kind of going around, you got your Andretti's coming back. It also makes you wonder if the rumor that the Penske will come back. Make no mistake, he probably will if the right stakes are there, if the money's right, if the situation's right. He'll come no matter what. He'll come. More than likely, it'll be with a Porsche. We all know this. Last time he was in the sports car racing, well, minus the two Acuras that they ran with. But the last time in the ALMS, he ran with the Porsches. Those were DHL Porsches, but actually, come to think of it, yeah, there were two RS Porsches versus the Andretti Sirius XM Acura. But yeah, which do you think would be the most likely brand? I know I keep saying brand, but it's manufacturer that they're going to go with their trusty, loyal Honda, which is Acura for us in the IMSA series, or are they going to do a curveball and go BMW, since they do BMW with the Formula E? What do you guys think? Let me just take a quick second here. Hope you guys are doing real good today. So I guess a bit about, come back to that later. Some stuff that did 17th. Looks like the number 48 Cadillac that Jimmy Johnson drove, looks like that might be coming to some more endurance races. So keep it your Sebrings or whatever the 6 hour may be this year, because I really don't think Watkins Glen is going to be opening that up. But wherever the 6 hours may be, look out for that at the end of the year, which should always be the finale. Always. It's in my opinion, though. I'm not biased at all. It's just an hour and a half down the road from me. I'm not completely biased at all. Looks like it's just still some stuff from the what is it? The Rolex 24. Some updates from the Formula One side of things. My internet decides to work today. So it looks like the Australian Grand Prix, which, remember, it has been moved later on in the year. So it looks like the GP, the park right there, they are going to actually change. before the race actually begins. Now, how are they going to do that? Well, I mean, obviously, they're how they're going to do it. They're going to break up some pavement and repave it, but which part? Okay, so it says that. Okay, here's a bit of a map. I'll do my best to subscribe it to describe. So it's that. Let's see, work area. So let's see if I can read. As a result of the delay, work was originally set to carry out after the year's race will now be completed before, including significant modification to the track at turns 9 and 10. So if you have any idea what the layout is of turn 9 and 10, so they're going to be doing something right there. Significant braking point into a tight right-hander at turn 9 and sweeping to turn 10 into Lakeside Drive will now become a much faster sweeping section, and most likely will be flat out. In turn, that means the arrival speed at turn 11 and 12 chicane will be even higher, obviously, making it more a challenging complex. Which that's kind of good. I mean, even though a nice braking area is fine for overtaking, a good smooth turn-ins and keeping the car stable and steady. Plus, that's still a good area to use to try and outmaneuver somebody anywhere. You just got to figure out where you're going to try to make your move. The following turn 13 will also be reprofiled, with the works also taking place on minor modifications around the following two corners, as well as 1, 3, and 6. So the turns 1, 3, and 6. These changes are the second phase of developing at Albert Park, with pit lane having already been widened. Phase 2 will begin on Monday, February 22nd, so next week, and it is expected to be completed by July, with the final phase including the first resurfacing of the venue since '95. So yeah, resurfacing and some quick layout changes and some modifications to the track. Hopefully it'll be worth it for all this time that we're going to be waiting, because as you remember, the Albert Park circuit or the Australian Grand Prix, that's usually the opener of each Formula One season. But due to the current situation of the world, this pandemic, it has been canceled. I say canceled, it's been postponed for another date. Some more into F1, the McLaren, because McLaren is the only one that has decided to show off their car, even though it's the exact same thing. The only difference is they got a Mercedes engine in there. And I'm already starting to see the comments and the throwbacks about McLaren Mercedes back in, Mika Hakkinen era in the early 2000s. It's another step for McLaren to come back into the podium run, that may be. But again, you still have to try to beat the likes of Mercedes and the amount of money that they put into their Formula One. Not to mention the fact that you still have the likes of Red Bull trying to find their way into that podium spots as well. Especially with a new driver, Sergio Perez, that's at the top of his game right now. Let me just say, at the top of his game, he's going to one of the more better teams in Formula One currently. So going back to the McLarens, it's basically stating that Ricciardo aims to feel no panic when preparing to start his debut race as a McLaren driver in Bahrain, because that is now the new season opener for this year. Apparently, it was a smooth session with the new MCL35M, and they obviously tested it at Silverstone, because obviously McLaren is British and Silverstone is in Britain. Apparently it was a film day. McLaren carried out a filming day at the home of the British Grand Prix on the day after launching its Mercedes-powered 2021 car. While much of the focus was on the systems check and installation rather than any sort of performance at a cold and wet Silverstone, Ricciardo said that his personal point of view is to feel as comfortable and prepared by the time he is on the grid for the opening race. It goes after the first day in the car. It feels longer than the 2 months actually, so always take a little bit to get the cobwebs out. I think in these conditions as well, it was greasy. They don't fill you with a lot of confidence after it's been a while since being in a car. So I guess everything went smooth. It was just a rainy day and the track was all slippery from fluids on the track, mainly just oil, some grease or whatever. So smooth and steady. Great. So hopefully the audio and the picture are kind of synced up. I mean, even though it is just one picture of the logo, hopefully I don't have much of the buffering, but it looks like if I look back on it, it looks like I have a bit of buffering issues. So hopefully I can fix that. If anybody has any idea how I could fix that, please let me know, because it's saying something about bit ratio, and I've tried my best to figure out what I could do with bit ratio. But again, it's a work in progress. We're only 11 episodes in. So I'll do a quick recap here soon at the top of the hour. I'm just getting some more stuff to talk about. Check that out right there. So let me know what you guys have to say in the comments down there, or even in the chat. What do you guys think about the McLaren? Do you think they're going to be a good team this year? Are they going to be the ones to really watch? Or do you think they're just going to be in their same place, sixth place constructors championship, or sixth to fourth championship? Or are they just wasting their time and they should have just stuck with the Renault engine? What do you guys think about the Andretti Autosport? Do you think they're going to be going Acura, or do you think they're going to be going BMW? Which do you think? And tell me what top sponsorship do you guys think it's going to be between their? I think they have 4 different sponsorships, and that'll be the DHL, I believe Gainsbridge, Napa, and the AutoNation brands. Which one do you think they will be putting down as the top sponsorship on the LMDH program? All right. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted to do. So we can try, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the chat comments below. I'd love to get to know some of you guys, get to talking to some of you guys, see how you guys are doing, and also if you guys have any questions about what I do volunteer wise, because I am a marshal. I'm not just putting that up on whatever. I am a marshal. I've been doing it for about 6-7 years. I've been doing Petit Le Mans for the last 3 years, and I have been doing marshaling at the other local road racing course. So I do know what I am talking about. If you guys have any questions about protocol situations that you're not familiar with, or if you're confused about, or If you want to know how to get involved in marshaling, I would be glad to point you in the right direction. All right, 5 minutes ago, we're going to be doing a recap. If you're just now joining in about 4 minutes, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. As of right now, just kind of hang around for a bit. I'm looking for more articles to sort of get things rolling, get things going. So while we're at it, wow, you some waiting music in there. See how that goes. Hopefully there's not there is an ad. Any day now. Just talk amongst yourselves. All right. All right. So, it's the top of the hour, 7 o'clock p.m. over here. And we're going to do a little quick recap of what was said earlier in today if you are just now joining us. So, to start off, welcome to the Marshal's Take. My name is Colton Brown, and we are going to be talking about generally one theme. About the top theme of today is going to be the Andretti family, and they will be returning. Well, mainly Michael Andretti, since he is the head honcho around there. he's going to try and return to the top category of sports car. He will be doing it with the IMSA LMDHs. Now, a few of the manufacturers come in mind because he is still in talk with some of the other brands around there, and apparently the brands that come to mind first is going to be their obvious contract that they are so loyal to is the Hondas. Now, over here we don't have. I mean, yes, we do have Hondas, but in IMSA they're Acuras. So, as we all know, Acura is going into the LMDH program. They have committed, spoken out that they are committed to going into the LMDH program. So that comes to mind when it comes to Andretti Autosport. Now, if you remember back in the oh my gosh, ALMS. English is hard, guys. I promise you it is. The days of ALM, guys. I promise you it is. The days of ALMS. They drove with an Acura LMP2 program. It was, if you remember, it was the I want to say it was the Sirius XM. It was the Sirius XM black and yellow prototype. And, you know, if you remember back then, they did the battle with the I got it right here. We can take a look at it real quick. So that car right there, that's what they did. They did battle with the likes of Penske and his RS Porsche LMP2, which really, that was the real battle. That was the real battle. The DPI, the LMP ones, you know, they had the muscle milks. They had the Mazdas, which that Mazda was fantastic, and they had the Rebellion came later, I believe. I believe the Rebellion came a bit later. But that was the battle. That was always the show to watch. So now, going into this new era of LMDH, I believe that is going to be what they're going to be going with first, is their Acura Slav. Mainly with their IndyCar program, they have that Honda engine that they use. But I think going forward, Acura. Now, they do have a contract with BMW, but it is in the Formula E series. If you're not familiar with Formula E series, it is basically your Formula One cars with your full electric motors only. Now, it's not as fast. It's just the ability to showcase this technology. This electric motors can go this on a charge or whatever. I haven't seen many races that in the Formula E series, but that's the gist of it. Now, if you actually don't know this, Michael, the Andretti Autosport has been in the, I wouldn't say limelight, because it's been pretty quiet. I didn't even know this till the other day, but they do have an LMP this year, and I believe it is the number 18 Gallant LMP3 sponsored car. But with the return to the top class, they're either going to go with the manufacturer of Acura or maybe BMW. Maybe that'll be a definite switch, or a shock really, if they go with BMW instead of their Acura. But we're going to keep our eye on that, and we're going to see how things go. So, of today. Now, the next story that we're going to go talk one news is really the only thing that's really been coming out is some sports car and some some F1 news. So, in the McLaren world, It looks like everything's running very smoothly with their new Mercedes engine. Negative that they came from it is that they had a wet and greasy track. That's about it. Other than that, everything seems to be fine. And also some other news that the Australian Grand Prix, a bit of change in the layout of the circuit. So I believe from what I read, it was the turn 9 and turn 10 complex. Instead of it being a hard braking zone and going from right corner to the Lakeshore Drive, that hard braking point area is going to be cut out, and it's going to be one continuous motion to make it more of a smoother transition. English is hard, I know. And now seeing this, some more, I guess, launch dates for two other manufacturers is Alpine, which used to be the Renault, and Aston Martin, which used to be Racing Point. Their cars March 2nd and 3rd, respectively. Renault that has become Alpine to promote its car brand from this season onward, and has chosen to launch on the same March 2nd date as Mercedes. So there you go. Alpine will do so later in the afternoon when it will present the strategic vision for Alpine F1 team, followed by a first look at the A521. Or alongside its driver lineup of Esteban Ocon and the ever so talented Fernando Alonso, the Spaniard currently recovering from recovering from a bicycle, I believe either yesterday or the day before. He got released from the hospital. It was a fractured upper jaw. And then after that, 24 hours after the Alpine cars launched, brand Aston Martin, which was the Racing Point, they will also break the cover for their new F1 car that will be obviously racing this year with the likes of Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll. It looks like it's going to be a virtual event. And looks like a little bit down, it says, so a little over a week before the start of the only preseason test in Bahrain. And then it says of some different 2021 F1 launch schedule, if you're into this. Some different launch date for each of the Formula One teams. So McLaren, as we had yesterday, 2 days ago. Then we have AlphaTauri, which will be on the 19th, so that will be on a Friday over here in the States. Alfa Romeo on the 22nd of February. Mercedes and Alpine on the 2nd of March. Aston Martin will be on the 3rd of March. Williams will be on the 5th of March. Ferrari the 10th of March. Red Bull to be announced, and Haas F1 to be announced. The TBAs are down at the bottom. So, with all that being said, let's take a look at some other things that could be going on around the world or over here in the United States, whichever. Let me put that back on the screen for you guys. I know it's a good looking car to look at, but there's going to be something coming up that's going to be just as pretty. So, it looks like, from what I can look at, the number 40, if you watch the Daytona 24, it looks like that number 48 white and purple Ally Acura DPI is being tipped, rumored, to be in more of the IMSA endurance rounds this year. So you're looking at your 12 hours of Sebring coming up soon, and then wherever the 6-hour event will take place, and then the finale at Petit Le Mans. So watch out for if that was your favorite car of the whole race, and you'll be able to see it potentially at those endurance rounds. So let's kind of go back to our first top story of the day with that is Andretti Autosport coming, potentially doing the LMDH program. So as we discussed, we could either see them in a Acura, which they have done before, or they could go with BMW since they do run them in the Formula E series. Now the next bit of sort of what are they going to put on the car versus, as far as sponsor wise. Now they have 4 different top sponsors that they can go with. You have the yellow and red DHL livery. They have the, I want to say, black and yellow Gainsbridge, which if they do similar to their Sirius XM radio livery that they had on their P2 back in the ALMS. Which, by the way, ALMS stands for the American Le Mans Series. I know there's an ALMS over in Asia, but I think that's sort of... So they could do the Gainsbridge, which is going to be the black, yellow, and I believe it's blue. So it'd be very, very similar to the P2. Or they have the blue and yellow Napa. They could do that. Or they could do the, I believe, Auto Nation sponsorship. They could do that as well. So which do you guys think would be the best? What would look best, actually? Do you want the red and yellow DHL? Do you want the blue and yellow Napa? Or do you think of what maybe most people would want to see is the black and yellow livery from the Gainsbridge sponsorship, which would look very similar to their Sirius XM radio from their past effort? Or could it be the black, silver, and purple Auto Nation livery? Which do you guys think? Which realistically you couldn't really do the Auto Nation because I believe Meyer Shank does that already. So that would actually cut that out. So it would just be the 3 Napa, then the DHL, and then the Gainsbridge. Which would you think would look best? Let me know down in the comments or in the chat. Let me know. I'm curious to what you guys have to say. What your imaginative minds have to say. Now, trying to find some more articles so that we can talk about, because I got about 15 more minutes till I'm going to call an end to this podcast. Well, so far, if you are liking it, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. There's always gonna be something to talk about on here. Oh, hello. Oh, that's Pirelli. This is a work in progress, as all new channels are. So I don't blame you if you're not 100% on board with this, but give it time, and we'll see the whole thing grow. So again, like, subscribe, share, whatever you may want to do, comment, and then we'll see what we can improve, get rid of, change, whatever. I'm all for it. Again, this is a new thing. We're going to be we're gonna go all the way. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I have mentioned in this podcast or in this stream, don't be afraid to give me a comment. Go ahead and at me if you want to, spark up a conversation or a little bit of a debate. I'm all for that. We can all be reasonable adults about all this stuff. So let me know what you guys think about the whole thing. Is Andretti coming back, is that a good thing for the sport? Because, if Andretti comes back, Penske's going to come back. Because Chip Ganassi is already here. Those are really the three big, when it comes to the American side of motorsports: Penske, Andretti, and Chip Ganassi. Now you do have your Hendrick Motorsports, but they are mostly in NASCAR. They strictly go, I think, for now they do stick to NASCAR. Again, let me know what you guys have to say, what you guys think. If you got any questions about, how about becoming a marshal, I would love to get somebody to get into that volunteer work. Yeah, it is going to be volunteer. I have to admit it, but the results of that is going to be so it's just fulfilling and so much fun. I can point you in the right direction to go if you're curious about what to do. Also, if you're curious about a protocol that you're not sure about when you're watching live racing, why does some things have to take place when they do, marshaling wise, protocol and stuff like that. I have been doing this for about 5-6 years. I have a good idea of what I am talking about. All right. So now, that being there, that's all good. Take care of that. Let me try and get a tab open real quick. So a little bit of I guess a suggestion of what I could do in the future. I could, when I get my visual situation in check, when I'm actually able to get my bit rate to where it needs to be. What would you guys say about me breaking down some of the protocols that you see on the race days? About, what goes through when it goes from Marshal, like flagging, to the race control, race director, then going to because the medical side of things and the cleanup, that's completely different. That's a completely different, I wouldn't say branch, but we do get an idea of what they have to do. If you really want a good idea of what some of the medical side of all that has to go through, one good movie that I can actually recommend is a movie, I believe it's on Netflix. It's either on Netflix or Amazon. The movie's called Yellow, 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 and it takes place at one of the Indy 500, one of the more recent Indy 500s, where I believe it was Hinchcliffe. He smacked one of the walls really hard, and he got I think one of the suspension parts, and it actually pierced through one of his butt cheeks. And he said he just couldn't feel anything. He was numb, and then he looked and he was in a pool of blood. But I'll let you guys watch the rest of that. But the movie's called Yellow, Yellow, Yellow. That's a really good watch. Very informative movie. It's really good. Let's see here. So just a few minutes, I'm going to go and end this podcast / stream, whatever you want to call it. But if anybody has any questions, any concerns, comments, whatever, I will be ending it right over here in about 8 minutes. And if you missed any moment of this video and you want to go back because you weren't sure about something that I have said, or you want to fact check something, go ahead and I will be uploading this to the channel for record's sake. Let's see here. Let me fix something real quick while I still have some time to stream. Just waiting on you guys to start a bit of a conversation. Let's see. While we wait, I'm going to throw on some more music for you guys. That way it's not complete silence. It's not utter silence. And of course, we have an ad. I get all my stuff from YouTube. Hopefully this doesn't bust y'all's eardrums. Alright, so turn that down just a little bit so I can actually hear it. Well, that's actually going to do it for itself, or pause. I've had trouble with that. Anybody else have trouble with that? You go to like put something on YouTube, you use something as YouTube, say like one of those no copyright things, and you try to talk, and the whole thing either pauses or it just completely just turns itself all the way down. Anybody have that problem? Just me? If you have, please let me know what you've done, or if you just use another program or some type of app, please let me know. I do like what I have. I'm not going to lie to you. I do like what I have. But again, improvement as the day goes on, or as each episode goes. So hopefully that bit of information changed over on y'all's side. Change up the episode number and the description. Let's see. All right, so I guess with all that being said, we got 5 minutes till the end of the stream. It could be a bit more early. We'll see how that goes along. So, if you guys don't have any comments, any questions, or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. But for the next time, we're probably going to discuss about this on the next episode. See if we have any more Andretti, which in 2 days, probably not. We're going to watch this and see how it develops. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys have a good day, a good evening, a good night, wherever you may watch this. And this has been Colton Brown with the Marshal's Take, and I will see you guys next time on the Marshal's Take. It's going to be on a Friday, so again, I'm going to try and keep this on a steady schedule. So Friday around 6:30 Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. All right, take care, guys.